In the previous episode, I discussed the cut frame components. I started work on our base cabinets from a simple to a large one. We screwed them all together, showing how to ensure correct sizes. In this episode, we'll work on the Lazy Susan frame. Cabinet is the face frame for a Lazy Susan. I've got it just dry fitted right here. You can see the 90-degree angles that go on between the one side of the Lazy Susan and then the other side of the Lazy Susan. This one's going to definitely be much more of a challenge to glue up because the parts want to keep falling apart, and it's important to know which side you need a pocket hole drill. For example, you need a pocket hole drill this entire rail and its top counterpart, and then this one I don't need to pocket hole both sides. I only need to pocket hole the side that's going into this rail right here, and the same with its counterpart over there. Because this one here, labeled number 3 down here, will actually screw into it. Better mock-up of the Lazy Susan face frame. As you can see, I'm just using some clamps to hold it here. I do not have the top rail up there, but that's fine. You can imagine the same thing here at the top. From this edge right here to the back edge over there is 12 3/4, and vice versa. From there to the front of the stile is 12 3/4. That leaves basically the distance coming back this way is the thickness of your base cabinet, which would be 23 1/4. Now that we went over the face frame layout, let's get busy drilling pocket holes. This frame's a little more tedious in the fact that it has right angles at different directions. I'm just going to use the workbench to clamp it down. So we'll get that clamped and started. I'm still going to go by my numbers that I put on the front of the face frame so I know which pieces to align up. But I'm not going to try to balance it in the air and stuff like that like I did the other one, because with this one it's going to be too much trouble and too difficult to do that. So we'll just clamp it to the workbench. Now I have these two lined up, and right here you can see that I have pencil marks so I know how these join in. It's actually like this though. So before I drill this out, I had a number 4 here and a number 4 here. Actually it's up like that. These will actually go just like this. And like I said, this is where it gets can get kind of tricky here as I try to maneuver these frames so that I can join them in like this. There may be an easier way to go about doing this, but I don't know what it would be. So I'm just going to use some clamps to get them pretty much situated, and then I'll clamping the top of the frame, which is out of the picture. So that's the back side of my thing. This is where it becomes really critical to actually make sure that this is 90 degrees. I may have to rack it just a little bit. I completely forgot that I actually had one of the other type of clamps for the Krig jig, so I went ahead and grabbed it and clamped it up there, so it allows me to at least start one of these, then I'll switch it and do the top. Of course, with that clamping away, it caused me to... I had trouble getting this screw screwed in at the angle presented by the camera, so I had to rotate the frame a little bit. I went ahead and screwed the top in off camera. You can't really see it, but I'll show it what happened here in a minute. When I screwed in the top one, it actually put some cracks in the frame. But what I'll do is I'll just fix that after the fact. Between the glue and the pocket screws, it should be more. Here's where I'm going to use my framing square to crank these up until I get these at perfect 90 before the glue sets. So I went ahead and used clamps to square up the top and the bottom of the frame here before the glue sets up. There's 90 at the top as well. So that will allow the glue to at least set like that, and that will allow it to form that perfect 90-degree angle. This Lazy Susan frame is, I took a scrap piece because I know that this rail or this stile right here is 27 inches on the inside of the door. So what I did is I took a scrap piece that's 27 inches long and I used it as a support to hold up the very top there, so it stays at the right angle too. Once the glue dries and everything sets up, it shouldn't flex very much, if any, and then when I put it on the case, if it has to, I'll readjust it just a little bit then too. Here's the Lazy Susan frame after the glue set all up.